Good morning, folks. This is Susan, and I just want to talk about mathematics and how, in this world of math and science, having proof of something is, you can go years trying to prove for this proof. And some of these calculations and some of these problems that they themselves come up with are quite extensive and difficult. To me, intelligence is about simplifying the difficult. We do need people who can take something that's difficult and make it simple. When I was young, in the military, we all had to learn a lot in a short period of time. I volunteered to be a clinic manager for an infertility clinic that none of my co-workers wanted that job. My boss, the lady who was doing that job prior to me, was asking for volunteers. And I was her assistant at the time. So it just seemed natural for me to take it because nobody was raising their hand. I was already learning and had already become acquainted with that type of work. I know that anybody else could have done that job. Yeah, anybody else could have done it. With the right training, with the right time. Anybody can do a lot of things. But I did it because I felt it was important. And for me to be discredited the way that I have been discredited, it has affected my children. Because when you don't have the means to support yourself based on somebody wanting to prove that you're not who you say you are, it affects your children. I couldn't sleep last night. I was thinking about all the things that I wanted to say to Jacob, but I'm going to say to you. We have some of these wonderful, intelligent, gifted people on this earth that have given so much to the world. Some of these people don't have their own children. They've never been married. Some of them don't even believe in God. But the world says they're intelligent because of what they've done and they've contributed. And nothing they say, it doesn't matter how complicated the problems or how complicated the formulas or how complicated and convoluted these things can be. Nobody's going to say, this person doesn't believe in God, this person didn't have their own children. We have to take that under consideration. We have some people calling God SF for Supreme Fascist, accusing God of hiding mathematical proofs to keeping him to himself. Somebody who can say, you can believe in the book, meaning the Bible, but you don't have to believe in God. And this is intelligence, folks. In the world, everybody knows, all these mathematicians know that this is the best. And that's what they are measuring up against. That's their standard. But you take a simple Hispanic lady from a third world country who just wants to open up a restaurant with the smoke outside and the kitchen in the middle so that everybody can see what's going on in the kitchen. And you take a simple little Hispanic lady who doesn't get her nails done at the salon, who doesn't get her hair done at the salon, who doesn't wear expensive jewelry. But if I use jewelry, it looks like I'm being pretentious. It looks like I'm trying too hard and I'm not who I say I am. Because they will dissect you and they will eat you alive. Because they want what's yours. They want your life, your children. And it comes down to math and science. They will use their intelligence with math and science to prove I am their biblical whore. I am not pure. I couldn't possibly have anything good coming out of me because I'm filthy. My son Alexander was taken from me because I was supposed to be potentially suicidal. I screamed at the top of my lungs because I quickly found out about this medical kidnap. And from the bottom of my heart, and help me God, that I believe that has to do with organ harvesting. All of a sudden these kids are dead while they were in the system, and then it's like, it's like free for all. I screamed at the top of my lungs to save my son's life. I had Joanna Gomez from the church telling me I would just take that down from Facebook, all the things that you're saying about any anti-vaccine or your son with DHR and all of this. And I said, I am going to stick to my guns because my guns are not the I'm going to shoot you and kill you gun. Sticking to your guns is sticking to your truth. And if you're afraid of my truth, why are you afraid if it's not real? If it's not the truth, why are you afraid of my truth? The truth is there's child trafficking for organ harvesting because there are some who make a lot of money by promising somebody vital organs. And when these kids are picked up based on allegations, which is right down illegal. It is illegal. You hear me, America? It is an illegal act. It is punishable by the law to be picking up kids based on allegations. And then you have to prove that you're not mentally unstable. And good luck, because they've already added you and your child or children to their gain. It is free for all here. We not only have the mother, but now we've got the child here that we're going to be negotiating with in the buying and selling among you. I was not born to be your slave. I was not born to birth my son to be for you to exploit. These children are not heard in court. You know, you can listen to an intelligent person talk about the skin. I was not blessed with good skin. Me personally. But when I birthed Alexander, I took care of his skin. Nobody can say I neglected my son, that I abandoned him. The whole time he was in Virginia due to unemployment, it was supposed to be temporary, and then my mom wanted to keep him longer. I never told my mom, you can have my kid. I told my mom, please watch him until I get a job. I couldn't understand why I couldn't get a job. So there are many, many people out here on this earth walking around who have not had the support of their parents, who went against the grain and were successful and are successful and have been able to get married and have children, and their children have children. You move on. If I was not blessed with having the support of my family, well, I don't care. Because I have my God that is my witness. That what I am saying is the truth. And my children have suffered the consequences because it was the free-for-all. God's word is free. You can go to God directly through the Spirit of truth in you. In you. You're the child of God. You're the son or daughter of God. You can go to God directly through the Son as the son or daughter. What part of that do you not understand? Why must we be crucifying people in the name of God? That's a bunch of hypocrisy. And then you say that they are the enemy. That they're the communists. That they're the dangerous Muslims. When we have our own dysfunctionality, backwardness right here in America. Thievery. Stealing of intellectual capital and stealing of people's children. But you know, who am I? I don't have a degree. This lady, look at her she has no stability. She's not stable. So that y'all can justify what you've always done. The way you were trained to do it. Your loyalty is to the state. Your loyalty is to the country when the country doesn't have loyalty to its own people, its own citizens. I want to know where the loyalty is to these veterans. Lately, we've been switching it around, turning it around. But for a long time, it wasn't like that. You are quick to recruit people to serve and serve. But when it's your turn to serve those who serve you, you're not quick. You take your time. You fiddle a lot. When I came here to Alabama, I went to the Career Center in Mobile. And I was referred to the veteran representative after I had already seen Mr. Lloyd. I reported this because I will not put up with disorganization. I will not put up with people giving me the runaround. I don't deserve that. Time was of the essence. I needed the right job at the right time for my child. In the meantime, I met this Cuban lady from the Baptist Church on Sage Avenue, from the Hispanic ministry, and she said to me that her son had gotten killed in Cuba. Not as a child, but as a young adult. And that her neighbors in Cuba
were telling her, oh, you're going to cry. You're going to be crying. All this bullying ahead of time. And they murdered her son. This country lets everybody and their brother in here. When I was having a conversation with another parent at Alexander School, right before he was taken by DHR, this lady it's a Jehovah Witness, and she was saying that she had seen in the news this horrible news from Mexico where they had actually, it was a horrible murder of children in a bus, or a van. It was a van that they found full of bodies of children for organ harvesting. You tell me I don't have a right to be right down pissed off. You tell me that I don't have a right to be paranoid. You tell me that I don't have the right to speak and to write. When in our very first amendment of our Constitution, Joanna Gomez, it says the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And these people, these same people in the churches, are the ones doing the oppression. I'm not saying that just the churches, just limited to the churches. And when I went to that same group of ladies, and I spoke to Miss Miller, and I said, Miss Miller, I cannot stay here with Charity. This is not working out. Because it was like, well, you're going to be measured by the way you're measuring. And it's like, I wasn't measuring Charity. I wasn't measuring Charity. I didn't go to Charity to measure her. I wasn't videotaping Charity to measure her. I was paying half the rent, and I needed my son returned. And she said to me, as soon as you get your son, leave. And I knew that if I left without the court being finalized, that I was going to be charged for kidnapping my own son. I don't like to run without knowing where I'm going. That was y'all's soap opera, y'all's work, not mine. I don't play games with people's lives. I don't micromanage their lives. I don't videotape them and then micromanage and negotiate the to and from. I don't buy and sell people. I don't twist their words. I don't want anybody interpreting for me, ever do I want anybody interpreting for me. If I didn't write it, if I didn't speak it, then do not believe it. Anybody can say anything, and it is up to you to believe it. You're the fool, not me. So I was very concerned, and I went to these ladies, these international ladies. The only one who helped me out, who literally took a $100 bill, was Rula. She said, here. And I was able to pay my life storage unit. And I was told by Miss Miller, why don't you just consider getting rid of your things? And it's like, no, I don't have junk. When I decorated my apartment on Carlisle, I can proof, if you want proof that I am who I say I am, I like no clutter. I don't like to accumulate stuff just to accumulate dust. I like what I have. I take care of what I have. I don't like to have excess. If I have more than one, there's a reason for it. There's a right tool or a right piece of clothing or the right shoes or the right makeup for the right time. The right hat for the right reason. But I don't like to accumulate junk just to accumulate dust. I like light, simple, and you saw my son's bedroom. My son's bedroom was ready for my son on Carlisle. I decorated my apartment the same way I decorated the house where I lived before all of this happened. I am a decorator. I didn't need to go to a school for that. I save money. I didn't need to go to learn about economy to learn how to save money. I have been able to spread my unemployment that quit coming in October. And I've been living off of that, even though I buy my own groceries. Sometimes it's reimbursed, sometimes not, because I live here. But I pull my weight. I clean, I cook, I serve, I fold clothes. I'm not just sitting around. Although, if that's all that I can do, I will. Because at least I'm reading. But I'm not getting paid to sit and read like some of you. Some of you get paid a lot of money to sit and read and to come up with problems so that others can find the solution to the problem. Why do we need to create problems for others to solve when we already have our own man-made problems that are already occurring? Why can't we just say to the students, come up with a solution? If I learned in school that the top 3 diseases in America were heart, cancer, and diabetes, and they were all related to the food that we eat, and I concluded the environment too, because when you go to a restaurant back in the days, you asked for a non-smoking section, it was all under the same roof. And I observed, like you did, that all of the servers were exposed to everybody's smoke in that period of time. Day after day, they're going to have some health issues. So am I the enemy of the doctors because I'm taking the patients away from the doctors? So what is the point of you working and having insurance, medical insurance for? But, you know, I don't get paid to think. I'm not getting paid to think, nor am I educated enough, right? I am not intelligent enough. I'm not tall enough or man enough or beautiful enough or whatever, because I guarantee you, if I had been born in another, under different circumstances, it would have been not a question. Not a question. Because certain people get chosen for certain jobs. And according to some, if you're Hispanic and female, that automatically categorizes you as a housekeeper. If I had been Asian or I had been any other race, this would not be happening to me. Because they see different people differently. Okay, Asian people, they're smart. Hispanic people, you know, they're housekeeping and agriculture. You know, folks, whatever. I am being told that I cannot have my son because I don't have a stable job. Well, I've been denied a job. If I ever get a job offer, it's like part-time, minimum wage. This has been happening to me for years. I want to know who fixed that in their books, because everything is down to a science and a math. We're all numbers, right? This is what I called mother suckers. They suck the life part of you, and they move on. They're done. You're done, and your children are done. My son's skin, nobody here felt any empathy for my son and when I showed him pictures of the skin. Nobody around here said, "Oh my God, we want to help you get your kid." When my son was with me, he was well fed and it was apparent in his skin. So I want to know, what is the point of education and all of this education about omega-3 and all of this education about balanced diet and proper exercise and blah, 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 blah.